it is time to take a look at accessories, okay? I've been working on this stuff for quite some time, and full disclosure, I will let you guys know now, this is only updated to what? The 1st of April, okay? I have data up until yesterday, I think the 31st of March. I have data for all the accessories, their trading history and all the rest of it, how many of them exist, but it's only going to go up to that point. I may make updated videos in the future. If you want to see them, let me know down below, but I'm going to kind of give you a breakdown of all the accessories, how many are in circulation, and more importantly, how many have been burnt, okay? Because if you remember, every time you bond an accessory to an Illuvitar, you then burn that accessory. Now, these numbers don't line up perfectly with Token Trove for some reason. I have a couple more than Token Trove has typically, which is a bit unusual, but I'm pretty confident in my numbers. I pulled it straight off the API itself, so just keep that in mind. And keep that in mind, it's not going to be updated. This video is going to come out much later than I'm making it right now, but it'll still give you a good picture of kind of how things are going in general, all right? So it's some really interesting stuff here. Let's jump straight into it. The first thing I want to show you is this chart. This chart is basically charting 12-hour periods from the start to the end. In this particular case, I'm looking at the plastic clown nose, which is obviously a pretty good indicator for the collections in general. But what's more important is I want to look at some of the more rare accessories, how valuable they might be, especially if you've pulled one of them. We can kind of break that down a little bit. But first, let's have a quick look at maybe another few things. So if we look at the black sunglasses and we remove the plastic clown nose, I'm getting better at this stuff, I swear. I don't know how to really easily automate the changing up of this chart. So now it's looking at the black sunglasses, look pretty much identical. If we maybe look at the black mean glasses, a little bit more rare, they all look pretty similar. But you can see that the black mean glasses on the first day, about 120 were minted, or the first period of time. And then it dropped off heavily, and then it went up for a bit of a spike. I guess that was after the alpha sale ended. You'll see a lot of the charts kind of look like this. And then it went steady, but it didn't really it's not a full angle downwards. Now, at the end, we can obviously see that the leaderboards have had a huge impact, okay? You can see this in Illuvitars. I've got discs, another video for discs coming out soon. Subscribe if you don't want to miss that. But it's also affected accessories where people have bought them all again. But what's even more interesting is the burning, okay? So, I stuffed up my filters. I'll add in a filter for burning in just a second. But you can see that the burn rate changes over time based on the accessories as well. So if we quickly take a look at this pivot chart, just bear with me for just a second, and I add type to it, okay? Now we can see burned and IMX, right? And you can see, it's hard to explain. So these are two separate charts here, left and right. Now, in the burn section, you can see how many are being burnt. And in the IMX section, it really should be combined. It should be showing them both because this isn't a very fair representation. But you can see that how many are just being burnt. You can see that it's increased over recent history, whereas that's not really the case for it being minted. Although that's a decent representation for minting, but you get the idea. Heaps of them were minted, but that's really just showing the ones that were minted that haven't been burnt. It's not really showing them being minted in general. I'll make an updated video if you guys want to see kind of the burn rates for the different Illuvitar accessories. But for now, I'm going to focus on the scarcity and some of the more rare accessories, okay? If we go back, we can start to take a look. Crap. I don't have a lot of space over here. We can start to take a look at the rarity, and I'll zoom into this in just a second. So you've got the rarity here. Now, the number at the top of each section, for example, this is Rainbow Party Slides, is the total amount that were ever created. In this case, it is 19. Again, this is probably gonna be a bit backdated. There's gonna be more by the time you watch this video, but 19 over about a month, or less than a month, but you get the idea. Really, all of them were minted on like day one. Actually, we can quickly take a look at that for comparison. I think that's a really good idea. If we go to Rainbow Party Slides, yep, and then untick the glasses, you can see that pretty much all of them were minted in the first section. Heaps of them were minted right after the alpha sale concluded. Then after that, there's been about about 2 a day since then, basically. So that's what you're looking at for those Rainbow Party Slides. So very, very rare. Let's put it that way. Okay. So if we keep looking in here, you've got 7 of them in burnt. Not quite half of them, but 7 of them were burnt. Obelisk Tattoo, there's only 20 of them, about the same. Obelisk Pipe, Radiant Shackle Neck Chain, and Shiny Halo. all about similar numbers, except shiny halos have been quite lucky. So your chances to get them now are a little bit lower in the grand scheme of things. Really, if you've got a 1% chance to get something and then you get it twice, your chances to get it for the next whatever period is going to be even harder, because in theory it should average out over time. And that's kind of how that sort of thing works, right? But you can see that the Party Slides Obelisk Tattoo and Illuvium Obelisk pipe and the Radiant Shackle Neck Chain have all happened about the same amount of time. Now, in terms of burning, people aren't liking to burn their Obelisk pipe. They like to burn the tattoo and the Party Slides, and heaps of people are burning the neck chain. So if you've got them, maybe it's worth holding on to them for a bit longer. And if we look a bit lower, we can take a look at the anime meme glasses. This is kind of the next bracket. I believe the meme glasses are tier 4 stage 3. So this is your tier 4 stage 3 bracket. You can see a lot of them have been minted about the same amount of times. You'll see that the burn rate is quite different though. Quite a few of the anime meme glasses have been burnt. Comparatively, the gold fedora, not so much. Thick gold neck chain, not too bad. Heaps of people are burning the silver pipe. And the Nanai's tattoo has a decent burn rate, but really about less than half of these things are actually being burnt to be attached to the Illuvitars. Now, what's that telling me is that these less scarce things, less and less of them are being burnt. Heaps of the really scarce ones were burnt, and some of these ones not so much, but you're still getting close to that 50-50. Even with the quantum collar, you're about the 50-50. And I reckon looks is a really big thing here. So if you look at their tattoo, not too many of them were burnt, but the tattoo isn't a super obvious accessory. So maybe people are liking the other accessories better. The shiny gold fedora looks a bit tacky on a lot of the Illuvitars. There's just better hats for them to wear. Things like the halo and things like that. So if we look at the halo, not that many of them were burnt, and not that many of the fedora were burnt. So maybe people are just choosing the other hats in general. It's quite interesting to kind of see the juxtaposition between a lot of this different stuff. If we look at some of these other ones, you got the green neon party slides at about 70 minted. The Band-Aid, the Illuvium Band-Aid, about 75 minted. That's actually a lot less than I thought would be minted of that one. And then the Obelisk Cigar, heaps of them have been burnt. If you got one of them, you might want to hold on to it. The pink party slides, a decent amount have been burnt, but we're starting to get into this next threshold where there's a lot more minted. So with the pink party slides, about 150 minted. Slim metal neck chain, about 170. Classy bronze price pipe, similar. Particle tattoo, similar. Metal wire halo, similar again. About 200 of them minted. But you're seeing about half of these are being burnt, especially those pipes. The pipes are getting burnt like you wouldn't believe. So if you're seeing them for good price on the market, they might be worth looking a bit closer, because a lot of them are being combined with the Illuvitars. To be honest, they are one of the best looking ones by far. All right, there's no one's denying that. The meme glasses, and maybe I like the band-aids because the other skin ones are pretty good, but the props is kind of the killer here. The props are pretty average across the board. So if we're looking for a prop, is the pipe a prop? That would really explain that. I'm not sure if the pipe is a prop. If it is, that explains that in a heartbeat. All the props are pretty average, if I must say. The Mozart antenna is okay, but it doesn't really add anything to the art. And then you have some other things. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I hope you guys learned something from this. Don't forget to go check out some of this stuff on the marketplace if you're curious about its pricing and things like that. I'm not really going to give out this sheet, unfortunately. If you want me to do more videos like this, if you have other ideas for me, leave a comment down below and I will get around to it ASAP. But it's really interesting seeing how the market's shaping up. Also, please don't forget that accessories will be around for all the future waves as well. Okay, that's really, really important. They will be minted in future discs. So in the long term, they will be less and less scarce. But that being said, if lots of people are playing for the leaderboard or trying to get all the points that they can, they'll be burning out a lot of these accessories. So that's going to be a bit of an interesting outcome and that's going to make things really interesting. Let's just put it that way. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. Have a good day, guys. Enjoy.